Hello everyone, welcome to the session of Vendor Portal Overview. In today's session, we are going to show you how to register and log in onto the vendor portal, how to upload different invoices onto the vendor portal, and the different features of the vendor portal. So let's first start with how to register onto the vendor portal. For registration, vendor will receive an email onto his email ID which is registered with OIL already. So vendor has to go to their email ID and they will see a subject line as OIL portal registration. You have to click onto the email and you will notice one register link and two special notes. So note says the invoice should be signed with class 3 digital signature with organization. That means all the invoices vendor are going to upload onto the portal should be signed with class 3 digital signature and it should have an organization name on it. Please note that this is mandatory for all the vendors uploading the invoices onto the portal. Also, this registration link will be valid for 48 hours upon the receipt of the invitation. So, let's go ahead and register onto the portal by clicking onto the registration link. Click onto the link and you will be redirected to the supplier registration page. Onto this page, if you can see, the email ID and the login ID and the supplier's organization name is non-editable fields which you cannot edit. And you can see the first name and the password fields are the mandatory fields to complete the registration. So let's go ahead. First, you have to enter your name, first name, your last name, your department, your functional role, your contact number, and then password. So for password, there is a specific guideline that you have to follow. The password should be of minimum 8 characters, which should include at least one uppercase, one lowercase, one number, and one special character. So anything if you entered apart from this guideline, an error message will be displayed. Also, if you want to verify the password what you have entered, you can click onto the I button. So you have to enter the password according to the guideline. And the same password you have to enter into the repeat password field. Once you enter the password, you have to click onto the register button. Once you click onto the register button, an OTP will be triggered at your registered email ID. So go back to your email where you will see one email with the verification code. So you have to copy the verification code. And please make sure that this verification code is valid for only 15 minutes. Once the time limit exceeds, you need to register again. So go back to the URL and enter the OTP onto the OTP entering screen. Finally, click on submit. Once they click on submit, a message will appear as registration completed successfully. Please log in with username and password. Let us see how to log in onto the vendor portal. To log in onto the portal, vendor has to check their portal registration confirmation email. Once they click onto the email, they'll be able to see the login ID through which they have to log in onto the portal and also sign in link. To log in onto the portal, vendor has to copy this login ID and they can click on sign in to proceed further. So click on sign in. Once you click on sign in, login page will display. Here, vendor has to enter the login ID onto the username and they have to put the password that they have set during the registration process. Once they enter the password, they have to click on login to complete the login process. So click on login to proceed further. Once you click on login, home page will display. Let us see new feature of vendor portal, which is help and support. For which you have to click here and click on help and support. Once you click on help and support, it will redirect you to help and support page. On this help and support page, vendors can see user manual and they can follow the user manual to navigate onto the vendor portal. They can also see the demo videos of how to upload the invoice, how to register onto the portal, how to log in onto the portal, and other related features of the vendor portal. For FAQ, vendors can click here and can see all the questions and their related answers regarding the vendor portal. There is one presentation also available to understand more about the vendor portal. We have given contact us field feature where vendors can contact to oil representative for any of the queries. And here we have given us about us to open the oil website. Let us see the features of home page. Once you log in onto the portal, you will see home page. So home page will display number of open orders, number of closed orders, number of contracts, and number of open queries. So these are the open queries, those are the raised by the OIL team. To see number of open orders, you can click on open orders and you will be able to see all the open orders here. Similarly, to see closed orders, you have to click on closed order link and you will be able to see all the closed orders. We have contracts. When you click on contracts, you will be able to see all the contracts available for that particular vendor. Again, you have to go back to home page. And when you click on open queries, so you will be able to see all the open queries related to this particular vendor. Also in home page, we have given a filter where you can filter the data based on the days. Last 7 days data, last 30 days data, 60 days and all. Let us see one of the feature of vendor portal, which is announcement. So whenever any new announcement will be sent by the oil team to any of the vendor, so vendor can see that onto their email that they will receive an email which says announcement from Oil India vendor portal. So once they click on email, they'll be able to see that this is to inform you that an announcement has been sent by oil officer. Please log into oil vendor to look at the details of the announcement. For this, vendor can sign in into the vendor portal and check regarding that announcement. For that, once they log in into the portal, they can see this announcement icon and can see the numbers, how many announcements they have received. Once they click on it, so they'll be able to see that there is one active announcement received by this vendor. So they can click here to go to that announcement. Similarly, they can use this menu icon as well, announcement, to go to the announcement tab. Once they click on announcement, so announcement page will open. On this announcement page, vendor will be able to see all the announcement those are received from the oil officer to them. So if you can see, it says supplier portal, new and improved, Oil India. So vendor can see the title, and if they wanted to see the detail of this announcement, they can click on view announcement details. Once they click on view announcement detail, they'll be able to see the detailed information regarding that announcement. It will include the title of the announcement, that supplier portal, new and improved, Oil India. It will show the date on which they received this announcement and the expiry date, till what date this announcement is valid. So if you can see, You can see the message as well. What is the message being sent by the oil officer? They said that this is the new portal they have announced, and you can see more about this particular vendor portal by clicking on this link. Also, they've shared one of the attachment which vendor can view and download the attachment to check what is the information available into the document. Let's move on to the next section, that is orders. At the left panel, you will see orders. Click on orders. Once you click on orders, you will be redirected to purchase orders page. Onto this purchase order page, you will be able to see two sections. One is open and one is closed. So, open section will show all the open orders that are being released by the oil team. And in closed order section, you will be able to see all the orders, those are closed. You can also see export order button. When you click on export order, you will get two Excel sheets downloaded. One is for the header information and one is for the item information. In open orders table, you will be able to see PO number, vendor name, PO date, total value, and the order details. Click on View Order Details to see the details of a particular order. So here you will be able to see all the order details as well as the BG status. So if BG applicability is yes, the status will be approved and you will be able to upload the invoices. In line item details, you will get PO line item number, HSN code. So HSN code is very important. Whenever you are uploading an invoice, please verify that your invoice is carrying the same HSN code that is there into the purchase order. In case of any mismatch, you can contact to oil representative and get it corrected. So HSN that you are entered onto the invoice should match with the PO HSN number. If in case there is a material code or an item code, that item code will be displayed. Item description will be there. Order quantity will be there. Unit price will be there. Net amount. When there is a pending quantity for supply, it will show here. Pending invoice quantity, pending invoice amount, long text, plant code, and plant name. If there is a long text, you can click here and can see that long text. Click on cross button to close the window. And you can go back by clicking onto the back arrow. Here, onto the purchase order table, we have given one search functionality. So you can search for a particular PO number and also few purchase order between some date range using from date and to date fields. So you can search for a particular purchase order like this. If you wanted to refresh the search result, click on refresh button. This is how you can see all the orders open and closed. Let's move on to the next functionality, that is contract. At the left panel, you will see contract. click on contract and you will be redirected to contract table. Here into the table you will be able to see contract number, vendor name, contract date, contract value, SCS value and contract details. Here SCS value is the service entry sheet value. It is the value of all the invoices submitted so far. And one more information you need to notice is the information are coming from the OIL's ERP system, and in case if you found any information displayed here is not matching with your contracts or the purchase order details, then you can contact to the OIL person with whom you are interacting. Click on View Details to see a particular contract details. Here again, you will be able to see the header information and the line item details. Again, HSN code is the important factor here. So the HSN code should match with your invoice. If it is not matching, you have to contact OIL representative. Also, you have to check the BG applicability. So if BG applicability is yes, then the BG status should be approved. Then only you will be able to upload the invoice. There will be the several scenarios where the BG applicability and BG status is not approved. In that case, you will be able to see the contract details here into the contract table, but you will not be able to upload the invoice against that particular contract. So you have to make a note of it that in case of BG status is not approved, you will not be able to upload the invoice, but you will be able to see the contract details into the contract table. So these are the details you can see for a particular contract. You can click on back arrow to go back. Similarly, like orders, we have given an export button to download the header details and the contract's line item details. Once you click on export, so two sheets will get downloaded. One is for line items and one is for the header details. Also, we have given a search functionality to search a particular contract number and to search multiple contract numbers within some date range. We have given from date and to date search fields to search the contract numbers within a date range. You can search for a contract number like this. If you wanted to clear the search result, click on refresh button. So here you will be able to see all the contract information. Let us see the next feature of vendor portal, which is Invoice Upload. Click on Invoices and you will be able to see two options, Upload Invoice and View Status. To upload an invoice, click on Upload Invoice. Once you click on Invoice Upload, you will be able to see 4 invoice upload options: PO invoice, non-PO invoice, freight invoice and contract invoice. Non-PO invoice upload option will be available for all the vendors. And PO invoice, freight and contract invoice option will be available for those vendors whose data is available into the SAP. Also, vendors can see all the uploaded invoices data here into this table. They can also search for a particular uploaded invoice by invoice number. Let us see how to upload PO invoice upload. Click on PO invoice and you will be able to see all the open orders against which you can upload the invoice. Vendors can also see a search field where they can search for a particular order against which they wanted to upload the invoice. They can also search the date range between which they wanted to search a particular order for which they want to upload the invoice. Let us see how to upload the invoice. For that, select one of the order. Click on Next. Once you click on Next, you will see Invoice Info page. Here, purchase order and vendor code will auto-populate. Vendor has to fill all the mandatory information to proceed further. Vendor has to enter invoice number, invoice date, gross invoice value, and GST value. For GST value, vendors can put 0 in case of unregistered, exempted, 0 rated and RCM cases, or else they can put the actual GST value against the base value. Vendor can also put shipment date if the shipment date is available into the invoice copy. After that, if you can see, this GST number for this particular vendor will auto-populate. If they wanted to enter some another GST number for the different location, so they can put that GST number as well. In order to proceed further, vendor has to select this line item. Once they click on line item, so you can see GST type and billing type options are automatically showing. So once you click on the line item details, it will auto-populate the GST type and billing type. One more thing you can notice is the item category is S. That means it is of service type. When the item category is S, vendor has to put the POC email. POC email is the first point of contact email from the oil. So let's put POC email. After that, vendor has to select the invoice quantity. Once vendor will select the invoice quantity, they can click on next to proceed further. Once they click on next, so upload documents page will load. Here vendor will upload the actual invoice copy. For that, vendor has to select this checkbox which says document is digitally signed. To upload an invoice, vendor has to make sure that the document that they are using is of PDF format and the size should not exceed more than 10 MB. So click on upload to upload an invoice. You have to select the invoice copy, and you can also upload a supporting document apart from invoice which vendors want to upload. For supporting documents, vendor can upload maximum 4 supporting documents, and for each document the size should be of 30 MB. It should not exceed more than 30 MB. Also, these are the allowed format in which they can upload the supporting documents. So click on upload and vendor can upload the supporting document as well. After that, click on next. Once they click on next, so preview page will load. Here vendor can preview all the information and check whether the entered information is correct or not. After this, vendor has to agree the terms to proceed further. Once they agree the term, they can click on submit to upload the invoice. Once you click on submit, a confirmation box will appear which will say, are you sure you want to upload the invoice? To upload the invoice, vendor has to click on confirm. Once they click on confirm, a message will appear as invoice upload initiated. Please refresh the page to upload the invoice, to see the invoice. You have to refresh the page so that you can check the status. So this is the invoice status you can see for which you have uploaded the invoice. You can also view by clicking on view invoice detail the information regarding the PO for against which you have uploaded the invoice. You can click on back arrow to go back. Let's move on to the next session, that is NonPO invoice upload. Click on upload invoice. Click on NonPO invoice upload button. Then you'll be able to see invoice info page. Enter the mandatory fields. Select the vendor. Enter the invoice number. The same invoice number which is mentioned onto the physical copy of the invoice. Enter invoice date. Enter the gross amount You have to enter the same amount which is mentioned onto the physical copy of the invoice. So this amount will be inclusive of all taxes. Now you have to enter the POC email ID. This email ID will be of the OIL representative with whom you are contacting directly. Click on next. Once you click on next, you will be able to see upload documents page. In order to upload an invoice, you have to select the checkbox document is digitally signed, which means the document you are going to upload is digitally signed with class 3 digital signature and an organization name upon it. You can upload the invoice by clicking on the upload button. Before that, please make sure that format is of PDF and it should not exceed more than 10 MB. So click on upload. Select the invoice copy. In case if you have selected a wrong copy, you can click on cross button, click on upload again and select the actual invoice copy. Similarly, you can attach the supporting documents from here. So maximum 4 supporting documents are allowed and these are the supported formats. So click on upload and you can upload the supporting document. Click on next. Once you click on next, preview page will appear. Here you can review all the details what all you have mentioned. Agree the terms and click on submit to upload the invoice. Once you click on submit, it will ask for a confirmation that you are sure you want to upload the invoice. Click on confirm to upload. Once you click, it will give a message that upload has been initiated. Please refresh the page to see the status. So refresh the page and you will be able to see the invoice number here, the uploaded invoice details here. So you can click on view invoice details to view the uploaded invoices details. Click on back arrow to go back. Let's move on to the next session, which is contract invoice upload. Click on upload invoice. Click on contract invoice upload and you will be able to see all the contracts against which you can upload the invoice. You can also see the search field against which you can search a particular contract number. You can click on view order details to see the contract details. Here you will be able to see header data and the line items details. Close the window. To upload the invoice, select the contract number. Click next. Once you click on next, invoice info page will appear. Here you have to put all the mandatory information. Invoice number. The same invoice number which is mentioned onto the physical copy of the invoice. Select the invoice date. Enter the POC email. So POC email will be the email of the point of contact from the OIL with whom you are directly contacting. Enter the gross invoice amount. This will be of inclusive of all taxes. You can enter additional POC email IDs if you want to. Maximum 4 additional POC email IDs you can enter who will receive an email that this particular invoice has been uploaded. So click on next and you will be redirected to upload documents page. Here again you have to select document is digitally signed. So that means you are going to upload the invoice which is digitally signed. So to upload the invoice, you have to click on upload button. Before that, please make sure the document should be of PDF format and the maximum size should not exceed more than 10 MB. Click on upload and upload the invoice. Similarly, you can upload the supporting documents related to this contract. So 4 supporting documents you can attach. Each can be of 30 MB. It should not exceed more than 30 MB. And these are the allowed formats. Click on upload and you can upload the supporting documents. Click on next. Once you click on next, you'll be able to see preview page. Here you can review all the details, whether you have entered all the details correctly. In order to upload the invoice, you have to agree the terms. Accept the terms and click on submit to upload. It will ask you for the confirmation that are you sure you want to upload? Click on confirm to upload. It will show a message as the invoice upload has been initiated. Please refresh the page to see the invoice. So click on refresh and you will be able to see the contract invoice uploaded here. You can view the details by clicking on the view invoice details. You can preview the invoice by clicking onto the preview icon. Similarly, you can also download the uploaded invoice for your reference. Click on back button to move back. Let's move on to the next session, which is view status. In order to view the invoice status of the uploaded invoice, click on view status and you will be able to see a table of all the invoices that are uploaded and the status related to those invoices. So if you can see, we have given a search field and a table which will display the details of all the invoices being uploaded and the payment details. So here in this table, you will be able to see invoice number, invoice date, invoice upload date, PO number, contract number, original invoice amount, currency, invoice booked amount, and the status. So status will show as success once you upload the invoice. Once this invoice will reach to SAP, the status will get changed to in progress. You can see the paid amount, the payment date, and the deduction amount, if any. So you can click on this link to see the detailed deduction amount and the detailed deduction reason. Go back. You can see detailed deduction reason here as well, the remarks. You can also search the invoices if you want to see the payment status of a particular invoice. So we've given few search field as you can search all the paid invoices, partially paid invoices, approved invoices, in progress invoices, settled invoices, and rejected invoices. Similarly, you can search a particular invoice with payment date, PO number, invoice number, or with the date. Let us see the next feature of vendor portal, which is DR report. Vendor has to click on DR report. Once they click on DR report, they will be able to see all the discrepancy report here into a table. So this table data is coming from SAP and this will show the details of all the discrepancy report. If you can see, it will show invoice number, invoice date, PO number, PO line item number, material description, invoice quantity, received quantity, DR quantity, UM, currency, replacement quantity, claim date, claim number, DR date, DR number, DR reason code, DR reason description, vendor code, vendor name, and the status. Vendor can also search for a particular discrepancy report by searching with the invoice number, PO number, and a date range from date and to date. Let's move on to the next session, which is query management. So query management facility has been provided to the vendors so that they can see all the queries those are raised by the finance and materials department of the oil. So for that, vendor has to click on query management Once they click on query management, they will be able to see all the queries. Those are generated by the oil team for the particular vendor. Vendors can search for a particular query by clicking onto the search field and entering a particular query number. Similarly, in order to see a query, vendor can click on this hyperlink query number and it will redirect it to another page where vendors will be able to see the query details. Here, vendor can see the description regarding what is this query is all about. And vendors can see the query history regarding what is the discussion has been done regarding this query. If vendor want to reply to this query, they can click on reply. They can put their comment. If they want to upload any document, they can upload it from here and can click on reply to send the query. Once they click on reply, a success message will appear as reply sent. So, these queries are prioritized in 3: low, medium and high. Once vendor will send the reply, the status will change to response sent. Once the query has been closed from the oil admin team, the status will get changed to closed. So, using this query management facility, vendors can reply to the queries generated by the oil team.